As 2023 is officially underway, Ubisoft has been in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Articles and reports have come out saying that the company has just recently canceled the development for 3 unannounced games and hit Skull and Bones with another delay. Including the unannounced games that were canceled last summer, this brings the total to 7 games canceled in a span of 6 months. Stock price for the company has hit a 7-year low, and gamers all over the world are now seeming to question the direction in which the company is going. Now, while I haven't been necessarily excited for the release of Skull and Bones, I keep finding myself tuning into the latest delayed news as it seems like the game will almost literally never release, even though it was given a 30-minute gameplay showcase recently. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is my favorite game in the series, so the pirate interest is there. And I play on PlayStation, so I haven't even gotten a chance to ever play Sea of Thieves. It's a perfect opportunity for Ubisoft here that just keeps getting fumbled as even just the mentioning of the game turns into a joke. But the Assassin's Creed developer still has major titles to be released this year, however, such as Assassin's Creed Mirage and an Avatar game, and could definitely turn things around with a couple of successful entries. But after their latest releases, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope and Just Dance 2023 have been quoted by the company as disappointing, it seems like they aren't even sure what to do next. And I mentioned the 6-month bender that Ubisoft has been on, but fans of Ubisoft have been questioning company decision-making for quite some time now prior to that. Some fans feel that the developer has grown into a money-hungry company by changing the direction of so many successful titles, such as Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. This has been done by leaning towards an open-world RPG style so that more people find it interesting, leading to more money through sales and microtransactions. And while that doesn't sound bad at the surface, it's unfortunate that this is done at the expense of what each game once was, rather than a seemingly copy-and-paste model. While I think it's safe to say that we're at a good point with new game releases, Ubisoft really has just been following the same formula without much change. As the situation is currently unfolding in front of us, it's clear that this strategy is not sustainable for success, even if you're as big as Ubisoft. There's really no brand identity for the company aside from the Assassin's Creed series, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that their broad range of games has just turned into full-price reskins. Let's look at the Far Cry series, for example. Personally, I've only played one Far Cry game, and that's Far Cry 4, which I was able to complete in just a couple of weeks as I really enjoyed it. But it really didn't have that wow factor that ever made me want to try another one. That is, of course, until I hear about another antagonist offering me some crab rangoon. But then, of course, there are reviews of the new ones saying that they aren't as good and have strayed away from what made the games enjoyable in the first place, such as the idea of a fresh open world. Ubisoft seems to kind of just release these games every so often, with not even the intent to be a groundbreaking game, but just to keep the series alive. But obviously this is an Assassin's Creed channel, so I wanted to take a look at the situation as a fan of the series, and if there is hope for the future of the series. I'm pretty sure that there are plenty of other videos that rip into Ubisoft from an all-encompassing point of view, but I wanted to start by saying that there is plenty of hope. I think that Ubisoft is well aware that Assassin's Creed is the best thing that they have going for them, and messing this up would be the pretty much final nail in the coffin. The upcoming entry, Assassin's Creed Mirage, doesn't have an official release date yet, or gameplay, but it's expected to go back to the roots of the series. This includes elements such as stealth, and a story driven around the idea of an actual assassin. And these are both very good things, especially if you're a fan of the older Assassin's Creed games. But the biggest takeaway here is that Ubisoft is trying something different. And by different, I mean that they're getting rid of the different that they tried with the latest entries. While there is nothing completely wrong with Odyssey and Valhalla, there's also nothing unique about these games. The formula that we've seen for the past 5 years or so for open-world games has become boring and repetitive for players. A new Assassin's Creed on a smaller scale with stealthy elements will feel fresh, and it's a great decision for Ubisoft to approach this game this way. For those who maybe played the newer Assassin's Creed games as their first titles in the series and really enjoyed the new games, Ubisoft has already announced the game after Assassin's Creed Mirage. Assassin's Creed Codename Red is expected to be an open-world RPG set in Japan with a similar style to what we've seen recently in the series. This would include a massive map and a lengthier story. Even aside from these two, we're expected to get a mobile Assassin's Creed game set in China, and a horror game called Codename Hex. So the future of Assassin's Creed appears to be a little bit of everything for everyone, but not in a lazy copy-and-paste way. The biggest takeaway here is that the company is trying, even though there has not been a lot of recent success elsewhere for them. What all of this tells me is that Ubisoft is really counting on Assassin's Creed to determine the future of their company. I think that they're well aware of the buzz around Mirage, and recent failures have really pushed them to go all in here. Even the Far Cry series, as I mentioned, has been left unchanged as it's overdue for one, but Assassin's Creed has at least been given chances to evolve to the gaming community. It's such a unique series of games where players still kind of choose their favorite one to mess around on every once in a while, as they each have their own aspects to appreciate. What I do wonder though is how come all of these titles were announced for the series? Going back to Skull and Bones, that game was announced way back in 2017 and is now currently set to release in 2024. I'm sure that Ubisoft wouldn't want another situation like this to unfold, which gives me another reason to have hope for this franchise. If Ubisoft continues to head in the direction that they have been, I could see a situation where the company would have to be sold. For as long as they've been around and with as many properties that they own, I don't think that it would take long for one of the major tech companies to swoop in and purchase the company. Obviously, this is a worst case scenario for Ubisoft, but still a way that the fans and players could keep their hands on their favorite games. This would be similar to what we're currently seeing with Microsoft acquiring Activision and all of their IP tied with the company, a massive deal in the gaming space. And as if their developmental struggles aren't enough, the company has also been accused of being a toxic workplace with leaders who can't take responsibility for their own actions. Sexual assault allegations and failing to treat their employees the right way has put another stain in the name of the company. This could be in large part from people not being on the same page and bad overall business numbers over the past few quarters. Reported losses of over $500 million to be exact. The CEO of Ubisoft, whose name I won't even try to pronounce, also seems to have shifted the responsibility of getting the company back on track to the employees. He's been quoted in an email saying that the ball is in their court and require full energy and commitment. In my personal opinion, it doesn't sound like this approach will get them out of their situation. Since that email was sent out to employees, he has apologized for sending out the wrong message and only intended to motivate employees to use their talent. He also apparently dismissed the idea of a 4-day work week and an increase in pay for employees, which tells me that the two sides are still butting heads. It seems like we're at the point where there's news every day about the company heading in the wrong direction and how poor the employees feel like they're being treated. But after all of that, I really do believe that there is plenty to look forward to for the Assassin's Creed franchise, even with the recent news about Ubisoft. It seems like that they're approaching the specific situation the right way in order to give the players what they want with the upcoming releases. And I feel like there will always be something so captivating about an assassin and being able to run around historic settings with parkour mechanics that really just won't get old to those who are into it. If it ever came down to the series being put out by someone else, one could even argue that it would do better. Either way, I think that the series is safe. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel as I'm really starting to reach some personal goals and can't wait to put out more Assassin's Creed content.